Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is Darren, channel named Dizzy Stitcher, and this is my stitch along. So, as you can see, today we're working on a super-sized piece. So we're going to try and see how much of this page we can get finished. So hopefully, you never know, maybe I'll have to get it done while you're with me. So obviously this is the first stitch along of the year. So I hope you all had a really good holiday. And then you got lots of goodies. And had a nice relaxing time. I didn't get much goodies, I got a bit of money. So that'll go towards buying something. But I had a really good time. Christmas Day, my youngest niece got some Nerf guns. So, needless to say, we went over there for Christmas dinner. So for about 3 hours, I was playing Nerf guns. It was fun. I made a rapid one. One of the rapid fire ones though, that would have been even easier. These were just, I only had like some like eight bullets, but it was fun. Obviously, my niece is only 7, so her aims are not brilliant. So she has to get really close up to you in order to fire at you. So needless to say, the number of times I got shot in the head. But it was fun. I really enjoyed it. And so that's what it's all about though, isn't it? Letting your hair down, even though I don't have much. And enjoying things. Life's too short to take everything too serious. So yeah, so that was a fun day. And then she also got a little, one of these little go-karts. And that was fun. She was petrified to go in it at first. She was screaming, and she'd not even moved. It's got its own little like handbrake on it as well to help her stop. And she only moved like 2 feet and then pulled the handbrake. But needless to say, after a couple of attempts, she was loving it. She was off. You can't keep her off it now. It was great. It was funny to watch. She's only toppled it once or twice from going too fast and then trying to pull the handbrake to do a skid. So yeah, so she really enjoyed that. And then New Year's was a quiet one. I was actually in bed before midnight. I think I went to bed at 10 o'clock actually. So there was no fireworks or anything going off around here. So it was nice and quiet. There was nothing on TV as per normal. I'd had enough of stitching for that day. So yes, I was in bed by, it was 10 o'clock. So I didn't even see the new year in. I'm going to say, this is my last week of being off work. So I'm back at work on, well, by the time you're watching this, I'll actually be back at work. So I do apologise, you may hear Kitty. She's having a mad-off out this morning. Normally she's fast asleep, but I think because the weather's cooled down a little bit, she's going a little bit crazy. She's come to life. So for the last couple of days, she's just been, all the boys are asleep, and she just keeps diving around the house, chasing everything and anything. Half of the time it's just her own tail. She'd be on the cat tree throwing herself all over the place, chasing the tail. So she's enjoying herself. So, as you could have seen, if you watch my latest update, It's been a bit of a wet time here over Christmas. So we've had a fair bit of rain. Nothing like that one that we got that I showed in my update video. That was the recent one. So we've had a couple of little downpours, not an awful lot. But we've had enough rain that the grass has grown loads. But it was needed. I would say in the central Australia and parts, they were nearly running out of water. Their dams and that were almost dry. The riverbeds were almost dry. This is where they mainly do a lot of farming out there, so they really needed the rain, and they definitely got the rain. So most of their dams were actually overflowing by the time they finished having their rain. So they were happy. All the rivers were flowing again. Everything was coming back to life. So they were well happy with all the rain that they got. I'm just marking my chart as they go, so I do apologise. So yeah, I've enjoyed having the 3 weeks off. I've got plenty of stitching done, as you will have seen. It's always good when you have time off and you get to do stuff. It's the going back to work part that sucks. So if there was a job out there where you could get paid to stitch, I'd gladly go for it. And as from my last update I put in with regards to trying to find a new fabric for my Mirabilia, I have been absolutely inundated with people picking their option for that one. I know normally when I put like one of the little vote things out, I get one or two messages, but yeah, obviously you guys really like your fabrics. I've been absolutely inundated. It's fantastic. So far there's 2 colours that are way out in front of everybody else as it stands at the moment. But hence is always the case. There's always 1 or 2 clear leaders, but then as it gets closer to like the end of it, other ones start coming in. So we will see how it ends up. And I can't say I don't like the choices because I pick the fabrics. So the other piece that I've got, I'm still trying to figure out what I can do on that one. So I suppose I could maybe start a long dog on there or something like that, or and so it kind of sucks a little bit now because I'm not buying any charts this year, so I can't exactly go out and find something else to stitch on it unless it's a free chart. So maybe that'll have to get saved, and if I enjoy doing the Mirabilia, then maybe you could get another one and do that one on there. But we will see. But yeah, I was so disappointed when that fabric turned up, because like I say, on the site it looked a lot more bluier than what it is. So I thought, oh, that'll be fine, it'll make it, it'll stand out. And then I say when it turned up and it was like more green, and one of the colours in the piece is actually near enough that same colour green. So it would have just blended in way too much that you may have lost detail of it. So that's why I decided to change the fabric on there. So hopefully I'll be able to get to start on that one soon. I'm waiting for where I get my stuff from to open up again. They're upgrading their shop. They're not going to be open up again until the end of the month, so that I can then order the beads and the metallics, and then I can get to starting with it. So it's going to be fun. It's different, especially as soon as you have to stitch 2/2, I think it is on that one. So we'll see how good my counting is on that, and I'm guessing probably not very good. If you know what I'm like. And like I say, it does call for Kreinik in there as well, so not my favourite, but we will see. I think the Kreinik is mainly in the wings, but he also has like a little crown on his head as well, and I think that one's Kreinik as well, I do believe. So that's definitely going to be fun to see how that works on the 32 count. I say I've never used 32 count before. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to say the holes are really small, so I'm definitely going to have to wear my glasses when I'm using that one. But hopefully, if it's like when you first change to a different size fabric, after an hour or so stitching on it, you get used to the holes. So I see a lot of people stitching on like the 32 counts and everything like that. And if you ever watch Sarah, the stitching mummy, you see that she also stitches on 40 count. And I was like, damn, this 32 count is that small. 40 count's going to be even smaller. So heaven knows how she works on that, especially when it's she does it 1/1. She must have really good eyesight, or really good magnifiers, one of them. So yeah, this is the back of my piece. Looks like Spaghetti Junction. That side's not too bad, but you can probably see the different ways I've done things. So this was all how when I was started, I was doing diagonal stitching. Well, actually, this corner here, I started doing it in columns, going backwards and forwards. And that one I was seen by Brenda from the Handwork Maniac, Stitchwork Maniac. I can't remember her channel name now. Her daughter was saying how she used to do it, so I tried it like that, didn't like it. Then went on to diagonal stitching, which was up to around about there. You can see where it comes. And then I decided to just start doing how I wanted to work it. And now it's all over the place. So yeah, I don't mind showing the back of my work. It's not like people are going to see that, are they, anyway, so. Alright, so that's that colour. Let's pick the next colour. Ooh, I missed a stitch. Did I? Yep. Oh, well, I'll get that one later. Don't know if you guys ever do this. I do it all the time. If you use Pattern Keeper and you highlight your symbol that you want, and then it brings them all up. I'll sit for a couple of seconds just working out which route I'm going to work as to how many stitches I can get in a specific way, or if I need to like park my thread, where's the best place to park it, so then I work out my route to get to that spot. So I don't know if you guys do that. I do it all the time. Maybe if I didn't, I'd get more stitching done. I'm sorry if you're clicking, it's me just going into my tubs to get my floss out. This kit is the one where all my floss are on bobbins, and they're all in the storage containers. All my other kits are on thread drops or or if not fully on thread drops, will soon all be on thread drops. Still using my Easy Guide needle. Still doing good. It's not tarnished or anything, so that's the good thing. Right. Where are we? Yeah. Let's see me back in again. I'm sure you don't want to see the mess that is my park threads. So yeah, with the park threads, I'm going to say, they don't generally get in the way. I generally have them all tucked out, either behind needle minders or tucked into the bottom under the ground guard. So they're generally not in the way, so I don't mind them. I'm going to say, some people say, how can you stitch like that when there's like all the stuff everywhere? But I find it quite easy. Every now and then you may catch one of the threads behind your work and pull it. Well, that's easily rectified. You just get the loose thread and pull it again. I don't mind parking at all. Especially now that with Pattern Keeper you can mark down where you've actually put your thread. Sometimes I do put it in the wrong spot. Well, I think everyone does that. But luckily enough, it's easy to catch. I was saying that when it comes time to moving the Q-snap on here, then I'm just knitting up the loose ones, tuck those in somewhere so that they're out of the way. Or I may do like how Jessie Marie does it. She plats hers all up. So that might take me a while. I'm not an actual platter. So we'll see how we go with that one. And so the other ones down the bottom here, a lot of these will be used up in the next page anyway. So that doesn't bother me at all. Yeah. So I don't know which one's going to come out first. This one or my chart parade. I'd say a couple of people asked to see a chart parade of all my charts that I've got that when I get kitted up. So I filmed that already. So I did that straight after doing my floss tube update. So that's all ready to go. Didn't take as long as I thought it would do actually. I thought it was going to be maybe an hour long video. Turned out it was only about 35 minutes. Well, there's a fair few charts on there. I've actually got more than I thought I did. Well, it seemed to anyway. Especially the artistry charts. I thought I had a few, but yeah, I had a lot more than I thought. But then obviously when you're doing your showing everybody what you've got, you're like, ooh, I want to stitch on that one. Ooh, I want to stitch on that one. So yeah, so it's going to be fun. Deciding which ones I'm going to start first. As I said, the first ones I'm going to concentrate on are ones that people have actually gifted me. So I think I've only got 2 or 3 gifted ones that I need to start first. Because as I said in that video, it's only fair people went out of the way to gift me a chart. And then I've not even stitched it. So I'm going to start those ones first before I start any of my other ones, and then decide which ones I'm going to do. Obviously, I don't know how long it's going to take me to kit them all up. It depends on money-wise. Hopefully there'll be some overtime or something soon at work. But if how it left off at work, there's not going to be much wood there, so I don't think that's going to be happening for a while. So, I'm going to say, not gone to work yet, as I say, it's only, you're seeing this later on in the week, so it's before I've started back at work. So I've no idea what we're going back to, or if we're going back to any kind of wood to work at all, which I don't mind. Nice couple of easy days, break you back into work again after 3 weeks off. So anything with the doing heavy confetti pieces is working out where you need to go, and hoping that, especially if you're not doing it row by row or whatever, and you're just going all over the place like I am cross country, it's working out what you've done and which part is which, especially when you get closer to an end of the page and you've only got like little ninja stitches left, and you've got to try and find them amongst all the rest of the fabrics. It's quite easy sometimes. That. And you want to go there. It's another colour down. And this is filling in quite nicely. I see a lot of people as well saying that they don't like bobbins because it leaves your your threads all kinked and everything like that. I have no problem with my thread once I take it off. And say all I do is, I'll show you. Once you've got it threaded, you just run your fingers down it, it straightens it out. He says, it straightens it out enough. Or if you're doing 2 strands, if you're doing the loop method, just get your 2 parts straight and just give it a quick tug, a little tug like, you can't even see, a little tug like that, and it generally takes out all the kinks anyway. That was a little tip I saw from Karen, the needle bug. So, where are we here? So I learned how to do my starting like this as well. When you're just using like 1 strand. So you don't have to mess around turning it over or trying to feed it under or having waste knots all the way over the other side of your piece. So I've seen a couple of people just lately with the waste knots, and it's like that would confuse the heck out of me, because obviously they leave decent like tails on the with the waist knots, and you'd be like, now is that a thread that I need to stitch? And it's just a short piece, or that's been parked, or is it actual a waist knot that needs cutting off? So yeah, that would confuse me just a little bit, so I'll stick to doing it this way. Always amazes me how on pieces like this, where you just add in like 1 or 2 stitches of a colour, really makes the difference, and the piece comes more together. So you don't see something and then you've had to add 1 more colour and it's like, oh, that's going to be like this, for example. That's going to be a leaf. And oh, that's going to be part of a bird. Oh, apologies. So yeah, it's always great fun to watch them come together. And especially when you've got like this kit is 240 colours. And especially when you've got like that many colours and you're like, okay, so we're doing this colour, but what's that going to be? It's like, and it's like, why would you put that colour in that part when it's part of a bird or something like that? And it's like, it's not even that colour. And then you look at it and it's like, oh, it actually makes sense. Once you see it coming together. There. Nope, put that one in completely wrong hole. Do like these Easy Glide needles though. It does make it a lot easier to find the holes. Assuming you don't put your thread down the wrong hole. But I thought it might get all snagged up in the ones behind and stuff like that, but it doesn't. It just goes straight through. And I've noticed as well, since using it, the back of my piece is not as bulky. I don't know if that's because it finds a way through the threads or what, I have no idea. But it definitely makes a difference. And apologies again, it's because I haven't checked my message. Let me know I forgot one. And I go all over the place when I'm doing these. Yeah, like I said, I was just picking a colour and completing the whole colour, and then that's how I started this page. But then I started following how Sarah the Stitching Mummy does it, which is just pick a colour from the top and work your way with that until the thread runs out, and pick another colour. So that's what I've been doing. But obviously, because he's getting near at the bottom of the page here, it's like, right, work out which way I need to run my thread first. So instead of starting right at the top, it's like this one I started over this side to come over this way. So it was on the news the other day that last year was Australia's hottest year. It broke all records. It was 1.6 degrees hotter than previous years. I think the last time it was around about the same temperatures as last year was 2013, and then 2006 or something like that. And then before then it was in the 80s. But this year, so far, it's not been very warm. But that's because of this El Nino, or however you pronounce it, that we're having, which is more rain. And we've definitely had more rain. But to say how much rain we've had over the last month or so, even towards the end of the year, apparently it's one of the driest years on record as well. Which I'm quite surprised, because I had to leave work last year at one point because it was flooding up here because of all the rain. And I'm going to say then we got a fair bit over Christmas. Well, just before Christmas, actually, before we broke up. So we got a fair bit then. So then we did get a fair bit over the Christmas period. But yeah, apparently it's been the driest on record. Now, obviously, that's probably the whole of Australia, not just Queensland. Filling in nicely. Bear with me just 2 seconds, if you will. Let me just answer this message. If my phone works. So my sister-in-law's coming over in a bit. When I first moved in here, I inherited a doll's house for the youngest niece, for when she decided to stop. But she would only stop when her... Sorry about that, guys. I'm to get a phone call. So, where? Oh yeah, I've also threaded on the next piece. So yeah, as I was saying, I inherited a doll's house for my niece, but she only wanted to stop if her elder sister stopped. Now, her older sister is now 18, so she moved out home middle of the year, I think. So the youngest one doesn't want to stop no more. So I still have a doll's house. So my sister-in-law's actually coming to pick the doll's house up, hopefully today. And also the bed that was for my niece, she's going to have that there, so she's got a spare bed for if she has any friends stop over. So what that means is I may be able to get myself a little craft room, because that room will no longer be needed. So I'm thinking I might change it into like a little craft room, get all my stuff out of the lounge room for a change, and into the spare bedroom. So that means I'll need to buy a desk or something, and some kind of storage. So that's going to be a nice little project to work on as well. I don't think that will be happening anytime soon though. Because I want to see if I can find something to hang on my thread drops on. So I've seen people with like, because obviously they go on the metal hoops, I'm sure I just need like an old clothes bar or something like that from in the wardrobes, just to hang everything on. So, or maybe just a little, no, I think that's a bit extreme. I was going to say maybe a little wardrobe to pour it all in. I think that's a little bit too extreme just for some floss. But we'll see what we decide. I also want to try and find something as well so I can use my proper overhead arm for the camera, instead of having to use my Lowry stand to hold my phone while I do my stitch with me's. Because I'm going to say, here there's nowhere to hook it on. Everywhere, like windowsills and stuff like that, they're not wide enough to hook it onto. The only place I did find was the fireplace, but that's not ideal because I have to sit in the middle of the room to do a stitch with me, but it's way too far above where I am, so I have to bring it right down, which means it's right under my face, which makes it a little bit harder. So hopefully I can find something for that, and then I can do a proper stitch with me's. Not like these aren't proper stitch with me's anyway, but you know what I mean, proper filming of them. So who knows, maybe a couple of months I'll have my own little craft room. Yeah, also as well as a doll's house, I also have a pram. But the pram, Kitty likes to lie in that one for some reason. She goes to sleep in it. And when my niece comes over, if she decides to play with the kittens, well, with the cats, can't say kittens no more, they're nearly 2 years old. But if she decides to play with those, Ginger is absolutely stupid, and he lets her put her in the pram and then pushes him around and plays with him in the pram, and he just stays there. She even put a bonnet on him last time she played with him. So yeah, it's absolutely stupid. But he enjoys it for some strange reason. But Kitty, to say she used to play with my niece all the time, because with the cat toys and stuff like that, and she used to chase her around the house. Now, as soon as she hears her turn up, because she's not a quiet person, my niece, she's really, really loud, and as soon as she hears her turn up, she runs. She runs and hides, which is pretty strange to say she always used to play with her. So, I don't know why she's got into hiding from her. I don't know if it's because she's getting louder, she's getting older, or what. I don't know. But yeah, she's definitely not a quiet child. And she's one of these kids that's always hungry. She's always starving. Even though she'll have eaten just before she comes over here. Because sometimes they'll just call over for a coffee or whatever like that. And she'll be in the house for 2 minutes. And the first words out of her head is, "I'm hungry." But she always says it to her mum. And mum's like, well, ask them if they've got anything to eat. Normally she doesn't ask. Normally she just used to go straight to the cupboards and just start raiding it. But now she actually asks if she can have something to eat. And it's like, what would you like? I don't know. Well, do you want this? No. Do you want this? No. Do you want this? No. And then she ends up going for the first thing that you mentioned in the first place. Typical kid. She's a good enough kid. She's into a tablet at the moment, so as long as she's got internet connection, she's happy. And that's the same with most kids nowadays. Spend more time on electronic devices than being a kid. When I was younger, I was never in. I was always out. We always used to find things to do. So we were always out on the street, playing Kirby or Tig, Tag, however you want to pronounce it. Or on the field where I lived in the UK, there's a little field not far from where we were, so we were always on the field. And the woman would just shout as if she wanted us in. Where am I going here? 1, 2, 3. There. And this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes doing the parking, you pull them in the wrong spot. This one here is in the wrong spot. That's what. You can't even see. This one here is in the wrong spot. But it's like I said, you can always. I always seem to catch them early enough. Look at where I parked my thread, and then it's like there should be another one next to that one. It's this one. I'll take a couple of spaces to do it. It's really. Apologies if you can hear the dogs. There's dogs going off in the background now. But when one goes off, they all seem to go off. For some strange reason. Like they're all having a competition to see who can bark the loudest. Oh, speaking of, if you've watched my my normal update, the next door neighbour was cutting his grass. It took him, I'm going to say, he's got a decent size area to do, but he's on a ride-on lawnmower, so they go pretty quick. It took him 6.5 hours to cut his grass. Yes, you heard that right, 6.5 hours. I was like, really? It should not take that long to cut your grass. I'm like, yeah, there's a decent patch of it, but 6.5 hours, really? Nah. So after he finished cutting the grass, he then got on his little, like, tractor bobcat thing he's got, and went round picking up wood that was on the grass that he'd obviously moved or whatever before he started cutting. So this thing's not quiet either. But the thing is, oh, you saw the amount of wood he came back with. He could have just carried those in his hands. There was like 6 pieces of wood, and he got the tractor out to go and pick these 6 pieces of wood up, and they weren't very big pieces of wood at all. So you could have easily managed them in your own hands. But no, he got the tractor out to go and pick 6 pieces of wood up from around his property. Absolutely ridiculous. I think he just does it for the sake of using his toys, I think. I mean, I don't know why he's got a tractor. I mean, it's not like he's on farmland or anything like that. But yeah. But yeah, riding around on there to pick up 6 pieces of wood. And I mean, his property is not overly huge. I mean, you could easily walk around his property. It's not like it was like miles and miles away from where he was. It was literally within 100 meters. Within. So not even that. But yeah, on the tractor to pick up 6 pieces of wood. It helps if I'm in my shot, doesn't it? So, I don't know how long this video is, as I say. It was doing well, and then I got the phone call, so now I can't see how long it's been, so I'm going to finish this thread off. Well, do these stitches in this colour, and then we'll call it a day. And then I'll continue working on this one off camera, because I need to get this page finished, so that I can go on to the next page. So I like to get, because this is my main focus piece for this year, it will mean that this will get worked on every Saturday and Sunday. If I get enough stitches in my other pieces during the week, then it may get an extra day as well, because I generally do, because I'm doing the enchanter stitching challenges. Those ones you only have to put between 250 and 500 stitches in, depending if it's full cross or 10 stitch. So I generally like to try and get them done and out of the way. So sometimes on a Friday, because we finish work early on a Friday, I generally then, if I've got everything out of the way, I will pull out my main piece again and maybe put a bit more stitches in that one, so that I get just that little bit extra time on him, especially when you're on a target like when I was doing the Mini Deer Creek. That one, it was like any spare chance I had to stitch on it, it got stitched on. So sometimes it would be Friday, Saturday. No, sometimes it would be Saturday, Sunday, and then maybe a bit into Monday. Sometimes it'd be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and maybe a bit Monday. So this one I'm hoping that I can get maybe 2 or 3 days stitching in it at a time. So they'll definitely get Saturday and Sunday. So I'm hoping I can get the other challenges done quickly enough so I can get Friday on it as well. Obviously, being back at work now, it doesn't give me much time on an evening for stitching, so I have to hope that the challenges are easy ones so I can whip through them and get them done. I'm also way behind on my stitch along, which is the one with the Cross Stitch Studio. Way behind on that one. I'll probably put any stitches in it whatsoever. But I did go to stitch on it the other day and found out that I haven't got half the colours that I need. So there's just going to be big gaps everywhere. So I'm going to have to get those. So it'll either be a case of take a trip down to our hobby craft store, if you like, Spotlight. But their prices are not cheap for the skeins, but so far I only need 3 that I've found. Obviously I'm assuming I'm probably going to need more. So I could just go and buy those 3 to do this, but then it's finding time in between work and getting there before it shuts. Or it's a case I'm waiting for my supplier to open up again when I'm ordering other stuff and get them from there. We will see. Or I may just continue stitching it and then when I get the other threads just add those in. But I want to try and keep up with the style if possible. It doesn't give me long to get it all done. Luckily with their pages, they're not as big as Hade's, so I don't have to do as many stitches. They're only, I think a Hade page is just over 8,000 stitches or something like that for a page, and this one is only like 6,000, so it won't take as long, but it's still going to take a while. Right, where am I parking you? There. That one out the way. What did I do? Just marking off my chart before I lose what I've done. So, it's coming along nicely. Not as many gaps now. Still got this little bit down here to work on. Just a circle piece here. So, yeah, I don't think that should take too long to get done. So that's it for me, guys. So I don't know how long this video is going to be because it's now going to be in 2 parts. But a nice little one to ease back into doing the stitch with me's again. Guaranteed it may not have been the most talkative one. Mind you, I don't think mine ever are, I just ramble on. But still, it's a little stitch with me, get me back into the swing of things, so these should start coming up a bit more often now. So, hope you've enjoyed. Again, any comments, feel free to leave those down below. Just looking at this through the camera, well, this part here, well, the wing itself actually looks like it's coming off the page. It looks quite good. It looks 3D. I don't know what it looks like to you guys. So yeah, but as I say, any comments, feel free to drop those down below. If you want to email me, you can do. My email address is dizzystitcher@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram. Again, on there, it's just Dizzy Stitcher. So, hope you have a great week. What's left of it, guys. I'll catch you in my next video, which will be at the weekend for my normal update. And hopefully by then, this page will be done, and I'll be on this page over here, because this is the next one, so that'll get most of these park threads here out of the way. And then we're moving down, and then onto the tiger. Well, heading towards the tiger, should I say. So that's it from me, guys. So stay safe, happy stitching, and I'll catch you in my next video. So until then, take care. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.